Happy holidays, y'all. This is your boy DJ Randy P, the positive one, and you're now tuning to the live jazz experience.
All right, what's going on, family? What's up? What's up? Welcome, everybody, to the live jazz experience. All right. We're so happy to have you guys. We got a special guest coming in from the Eastern Shore of Maryland. You guys haven't heard anybody on our show from the Eastern Shore of Maryland, I think, for a while. If we had anybody, I think we had Ty Bowden sometime early in the year. But tonight we got this guy. He's actually famous. He's a celebrity on the Eastern Shore. His name is Randy Potter. If you want to talk about seafood and all the good things about the Eastern Shore, he can tell you all about it because he's been there for a minute. He does a lot of stuff, big time entrepreneur. And I'm not going to get into all of his bio right now because that's Lady Praise job. She going to lay down his bio, tell you all about this guy. I had an opportunity to speak to him for a good little while one time, and got a chance to understand what his business model looks like. And one thing I could say, he has a big heart, and he thinks about other people, how other people can, make a way, find other streams of income. So he's always teaching and learning new things himself. So we're excited to have him on the program. And Batman actually took a nap, but I don't think it was long enough because there's some good rain coming down right now in Maryland. Like we need it. I feel like cutting no grass and cutting no bushes, but that's part of nature. We got to clean up this environment, so we need that good rain to filter out those toxins in the air. So anyway, let's bring out Lady Praise and Jazz, man. See what's going on with those guys before we bring Mr. Potter out. What's going on, family? How y'all doing?
How you doing?
Hey, what is up this evening, Batman? What's going on, brother?
Man, we getting a pour down. Man, it is raining. Yeah, how you guys look out that way?
It's nothing. It's doing nothing here.
Oh man, we getting it.
It's probably coming, but not till probably late tonight.
Yeah, it just started. So it's raining like cat and dog. So anyway, before we move forward, we want to know what's going on in C-Towns. Is everything holding tight? I know we're about to open up phase 3 in Maryland, which means movie theaters and theaters get to open up. Those kind of places. So what's going on in C-Town, Lady Praise?
Nothing really. Everything's really holding right tight. I know the movie theater is itching in Chestertown, and Jazzman can speak to this. The movie theater is itching to get back open. I don't know if I'm going to go in that one or not. I just don't know. I got to wait and maybe give it a couple of weeks, couple of months. But one of my girlfriends said, "Hey, we're gonna, we're getting ready to go back in the movie theater." I was like, "Hey, let's slow our roll a little bit. Let's wait a little bit." So, make sure they got everything in place first, and then I may venture in. So
I got a question.
We've just been holding tight. That's it.
Yeah,
waiting.
I got a question about that, Lady Praise, since you're in the medical, arena and everything. So, for them to be able to handle, what's going on right now, the virus and everything, did they have to change their HVAC system? Did they have to make a change to that, or is all nothing's changed?
I really don't think so. I don't think so. Not over here. No, not what I've heard anyway. I don't think so. Jasmine, have you heard anything about the theater in Chestertown changing? I don't think so. I don't think I've heard anything.
No, I haven't heard anything.
Wow, that's interesting.
I mean, personally, I wouldn't step in a movie theater yet. I would look for a drive-in movie. But I agree with you, Lady Praise. We'll wait a couple of months on this one.
Yeah,
I agree. I want to see a good blockbuster movie come out, then I'll think about it.
Yeah, you really want to see that movie, And I mean, for right now, everything's been streaming online. I was more than happy to rent some movies that I probably wouldn't have never visit, in a theater. Like I saw a movie with Tracy Ross in there, and my wife and I said, "Oh yeah, we went to the theaters for that one." But it was nice to rent it and watch it on our own television set.
Was that called The High Note?
Yeah, but it turned out to be a really good movie. But in the beginning of it, it didn't look like something I would go to the theater. When you go to the theater, you're taking a lot of time from your day, to go.
Yeah.
And spending money. And,
It's on DVD now, too.
They still make them? Didn't know they were still making DVDs.
Yeah. DVDs.
Oh, yes, right.
Some of us are not achieved the level of streaming yet, so we do watch DVD.
I mean, I do both. I stream and, I'm in that profession, so
I think I unplugged.
I see everything that comes through.
Yeah, that's right. You do. I think I unplugged all my DVDs. I don't even think I even feel like getting up to even take the movie out the case. How about just go ahead and search the library and stream it, And one of the great things now about technology, in case a lot of people don't know, if you really got an opportunity to learn, I know I was talking to somebody, my sister-in-law, about, she wanted to update her phone. She said her phone is about 5-6 years old, but she said she didn't want to pay $800. I said, I haven't heard nobody pay cash for a phone in a long time. And I know that's hard, to break out $800 to buy a phone. So I told her, well, to me, it's worth it to me because, one, the way that smart TVs are designed, if you have one, you can stream anything from your phone, like include, I think, Facebook and YouTube, right to your television, any apps, and sit back and enjoy the big screen. So, that's the benefit to me is that you don't have to sit there and play on your phone the whole time trying to watch a movie. You can just send it to your TV.
She can also get a phone plan and she ain't got to pay.
Yeah, some people don't like paying bills, and she's one of them. Some people don't want to see that extra bill coming in. She like to pay cash for everything. I seen her pay cash for a car, and it wasn't a cheap one either. So that just tells you she don't like bills. Yeah,
My grandfather used to pay. My grandfather had a big farm in Crumpton. He used to walk in and pay cash for stuff.
Mm-hmm. Some people like that. They old fashioned. They said they can't pay for it in cash. They don't need it. Yeah. All right. Well, look, guys, we got a legend. We got a legend on the show tonight. I'm going to sit back and enjoy this one because you always learn something from this guy. And let's bring him in. I'm just going to say hello to him real quick. Going on, Mr. Potter. Welcome to Late Night Radio, the live jazz experience. How you doing, sir?
Doing well. I'm so blessed to be on your show. Finally, I'm able to be on the live jazz experience podcast.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Amen. God is good. He was able.
I flew so well. I had to say a prayer before I got on here. I said, Lord, help me. They flow so well together. I just don't want to mess with the monotony here. I want to keep everything flowing.
Now you good, man. You are good.
But I appreciate y'all having me on tonight.
Amen. All right. Well, look. Okay. Well, Lady Praise, you go ahead and take it over. I'm sitting back here at the controls, and if you guys need me, let me know. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Well, first of all, welcome to the man, the myth, the legend, the legendary Randy P. Randy Potter. Welcome to the Live Jazz Experience podcast, my brother.
Thank you. Well, thank you. How y'all doing? How y'all been doing this week? How's everybody been doing?
We're doing well. Yeah, doing great. Well, yeah. So let's go ahead and get started because I know it's you have done. First of all, this guy is my mentor, brother in Christ. He was the one that pushed me into going into his DJ school and becoming a Christian DJ, female Christian DJ, one of not very many. So how did you, let's start at the beginning. How did you first get into DJing?
Well, check this out. Really, I come from a musical family on both sides, my mother's side and my father's side. They always they had singers and musicians and bands back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. So I grew up around music. And what I didn't know was when I was like beginning to walk, my mother said she would tell me to put certain songs on. Put on this song from Stevie Wonder, put on this song from Marvin Gaye. And I actually was able to put the record on without knowing how to read. I guess I would just look at the labels of the song and recognize that being for that song. So I actually was a DJ early on. But how I actually became a professional DJ was when I was 10 years old. When I was 9, that's when hip hop came out on rap. Rap came out on wax. and my mother brought home Sugar Hill Gang. Their song, "The Dabber's Delight," and my sister and I, we loved it so much. We learned a little rhyme. So that summer in 1980, my next door neighbor, what used to be my babysitter, she got married. We went to the, and I noticed that the music never stopped playing. Now I'm used to using a record player. Those from the old school, you know what I mean when I say record player. When you put the record on and then it would stop and then drop the next record to come on. So it'd be a little pause, you know, it'd be like a couple of seconds pause for the next record to come on. I noticed that the records wouldn't stop and the music kept playing and playing. So I went over there. I didn't know it was a DJ. I didn't really know who it was. I went over to where I knew they had a record player, and I seen the guy. He had two record players, and it looked like he had the same record on both turntables. I mean, on both turntables. So it was the same label, basically, same record label. When I was riding home, I asked my parents, I said, hey, you know, could y'all get me some record players like that? Now I'm only 10 years old, passing to the 6th grade. The day before I was about to start school, this is the summertime, so the day before I was about to start school, my father said, look, I'm going to talk to you in your bedroom. So I'm thinking I'm in trouble. I'm thinking I must have did something. I'm about to get a beating. Why you want to meet me in my bedroom? So I went in the bedroom, and he had two record players all hooked up, and just like, yo, I want you to, you say you want a record player, and I actually forgot about it. You know, I'm a little kid. You say something about something you want, you know, your parents, you don't know if your parents going to get it or not, so you just don't even think about it. So I started spinning, and learning the art at home. I never, other than that one DJ at the reception, so I didn't really know what all to do. All I knew that my mother gave me a boatload of records or access to a lot of records that she didn't give them to me. But then I was able to play them, and I started, you know, asking about certain records in the store. And fast forward to 1980. From 1981, we moved to a town called Cambridge. I was living in Eastern Maryland at the time when I first got my record players, got my turntables. But we moved to a town called Cambridge, which that's all they do is party. I didn't really know that, but when I got there, I was actually the only kid with turntables. It was a lot of adult DJs in Cambridge, but none they didn't have no kids that was DJing. So I was actually the only kid that had turntables. So I actually used to like to rap on my. I used to like to break dance. I didn't really went into DJing because I never really saw it living in Easton. I just knew I had record players. But once I moved to Cambridge, I saw the older DJs spinning and playing, and I knew I had turntables. And I actually became a DJ out of default. I like to rap. I like to break dance, but I didn't want no one touching my turntables because if I broke a needle, my mother wasn't gonna. You know, my mother's going to fuss at me if I break a needle, if I let someone break a needle. So I used to be like, y'all rap on them, like, y'all dance, I'll be the DJ. So I kind of became a DJ as a default. In 1982, 6 months later, in 1982, someone asked, during the time in 81, when I moved to Cambridge, I started doing block parties. But I didn't know I was so young, I didn't know you got paid for it. So it was just fun to me. We put the speakers outside in the park, and we just play all day long. Break dance, rap, DJ all day long, and that's how hip hop was at the time. And in '82, early part of '82, someone actually invited me to DJ at their party. So I did a party. After the party was over, the young lady came and gave me $20. So I said, "What you give me $20 for?" She said, "DJ at my party. I'm paying you. That you supposed to get paid." I'm like, "What?" Once I knew I can get paid for this. 8 years later, I'm still. So that's how I got started. And that's how I got started out of default. My parents blessed me with the tools, and I just went from there.
Yeah. So when did God? So because you have played with everybody, Jay-Z, Yolanda Adams. My goodness, I mean everybody. I mean you did parties. I remember going to your parties at 4-H Park. You know, we all know Eastern Shore. We all know where 4-H Park is. Stuff. Yeah. Dances down there. But when did God call you to say, okay, I need to move you from secular to Christian music, and you start playing for me?
Well, that's a good question. So, in the day after Christmas in '95, I gave my life to God. And at the time, I was so stressed out about my music career. Now, I want y'all to listen very closely. My music career was soaring at the time, but for some reason, the last 4 months of that year, I didn't really want to do music, and I couldn't understand why. Why come I don't want to do music? That's all I ever do. All I do is produce people. All I do is DJ. Why come I have this feeling? So it was a mental thing with me that I was like, but I was just stay away from that atmosphere, from that type of place or where I played at, all the places I played. When I gave up to God, in my mind, I didn't think I could be a DJ anymore because I never heard of a Christian DJ before. Not a Christian DJ. On the radio, yes, but not mobile. So I didn't have no role models or nobody to look up to. So in my mind, I didn't think I could DJ anymore. But one day I went to Walmart in Eastern Maryland, and when I went there, there was a Caucasian guy. He was playing some music with a guitar. He had some really nice equipment. And I said, they wouldn't let nobody rap or nothing like that in Walmart. Why didn't they let this guy rap? So I'm like, okay. So I was drawn to him. Because of his equipment. So I went over there and started talking to him. I said, yeah, I used to be a DJ. I'm selling all the equipment. And he put his hand on my shoulder. He said, no, don't sell your equipment. He said, we need more brothers like you. And I was like, what? Because I thought he was playing country music, but what he was playing was Southern gospel. He said, no, don't sell your equipment. Don't throw it away. God can use you. And this was like the early part of '96, maybe I say April. So right after that, someone called me to DJ at a wedding. I had no music, most of my equipment, my CD players, but I had no music. So I had I went to the stores, got a couple of wild CDs, asked them, could I borrow some of their music? And my first wedding in 1996, and they let me know that I could still be a DJ. So that's how I got started being a Christian DJ, and doing it ever since.
Wow! What a testimony there. I mean, incredible. So when did you? So let's sort of fast forward because you've done everything. You've done weddings, you've done concerts, you have done. Oh my goodness, you've done sound, public speaking events. So when did you decide? When did God say, "Okay, I need you to leave"? Because you worked for years at Delaware Community Services, and that's where I met you down there. Even though I knew about you, but I met you down there in 2011. And so when did God move you to say, "Okay, I want you to leave your job, and I want you to start your own something else besides the Christian DJing, besides the sound production, besides doing the weddings?" And He moved you into Positive Music Time. And tell us about Think Big, Plan Bigger, because that to me is just incredible how He moved you into that whole arena.
All right, so I'm gonna just you just asked me a boatload of stuff, so I'm gonna try to make it as quick as possible.
Okay.
Back in 2000. Well, first let's start here. When I took the job on the Delaware Community Service, I only took the job because this was during the time when I stopped DJing. The period of time when I got saved and I wasn't DJing yet. So I said, hey, I got to get a job. But I never really had a job. My music was my business, So I DJed 3 days out of the week, and I produced the other 4 days. So that was my lifestyle at the time. So I took this job, and it was working with people with disabilities and seniors. And so I took the job, and I kept it. But what happened was in 2013, I woke up one day, and I just felt like I was going to get fired. I'm like, wow, I feel like I'm going to get fired. So I was a supervisor, so I was like, maybe the state's going to come in and do some inspection. So I just had this feeling for two weeks. And at the time, I was 6 months before I was about to get married. And I had never been married before. So I was like, I know one of the reasons why my wife, one of the good conditions of her marrying me is because I've been on a job for 20 years. So that was kind of strange. I told God, this ain't time to be leaving no job, you know what I'm saying? It took me about 2 months to tell my wife, my fiance at the time. I said, look, listen, God is dealing with me about leaving my job. She said, what? She said, well, I feel the same way. I said, what? She said, whatever God tells you to do, you do it. So from that day forth, I said in my mind, I'm going to leave this job. So I ended up leaving the very following year in 2014. When I left the job, I left the job, and one of the things I asked God was, because I still had my business. I started my new company in 1996, which is called Revive Sound Production. That's when I started Revive. And so I had a company. I was working. I had an office downtown Maryland. And I mean, I would go to work at DCS during the day. I would go to my studio at night and work till 11, 12 o'clock at night with clients. So I had a business, but it was only at nights and weekends when I worked. So one of the things I asked God was, what I'm going to do in the daytime? And if, I got work at night and weekends, but I got to make money. I got a family now. I got married. So I'm like, I got a family now. What am I going to do? And he gave me this program called Positive Music. And basically we serve seniors, troubled youth, daycares, people with disabilities. We go to wellness centers, senior facilities, places like that. Anything that's going on in the daytime where people are there, schools, elementary school, middle school, high school, and we entertain them for an hour. So we built this what we call a musical activity program. And we service those people during the day. And it goes to like 2 to 4 locations every day. And it's awesome. I mean, everyone is blessed. I have, since COVID, I haven't been able to go to some, but I've been doing some virtual. And last week I did my first in-person one since March the 11th of this year. It was just so awesome. Everybody was they just loved to see me. And we bring energy and we bring happiness to people. Now, saying that people are not already happy, but we make them more happier with the music we play or with the musical activities we do. Whether it's, we have our own version of bingo called Pingo, whether it's that, whether it's singing, whether it's dancing, whether it's doing cheer exercises or cheer tap dancing. We have so many musical activities, and we do it in 9 different counties, and it's a really major blessing. I hope I answered all your questions.
Oh, you did, because again, the positive music time, I definitely have been a part of, and I loved it.
Right.
I mean, I absolutely love it, and I was able to go into and do it for an hour in some of the senior centers, the nursing homes here, and you're talking about putting smiles on people's faces, and
make their day.
It was and make their day just for that 1 hour, and playing music and having them get up and dance, and then as I'm singing to them, they're smiling and singing back to you the old songs, when they were teenagers and when they were young. So, but tell me a little bit before yeah, go ahead.
I'm just going to say music is the most universal expression of joy. And then I also remember something after you asked me. You asked me about playing bigger. So when I left my job in 2014. Been out of my job for almost a year. And God spoke to me. Well, let me preface with this. Before I left my job, even before God told me to leave my job, every November I would take the time and write out goals for myself for the next year. And some goals I would achieve, some goals I wouldn't achieve. But every November I always wrote this because I knew one day I was going to be able to leave my job and go full-time back into my company like I was before I became a Christian. But I just didn't, I had a little blueprint, but I didn't know what time to do it. I had to wait on God to tell me what time. So I always make my little goals, whether it be save money, wherever my goal was, I always have a goal. And sometimes I would achieve them, sometimes I wouldn't. So after I left DCS, I had a blueprint, of course, of how I had a strategic plan of how I was going to leave my job and what I was going to do after that, positive music time. But almost a year after that, God just spoke to me. I want you to teach this to other people. And this is what I told God. I said, how can I teach other people this when I'm just getting started going full-time in my company on my own self? How can I do that? He said, it's just knowledge. He said, it's just knowledge. You can share with them the knowledge you have. And when he said that, I said, oh, wow. So just so happened, I went to my old job that day to teach a class. And I still teach first aid CPR at my old job. And I seen the leader of the company. I said, listen, God just told me to do this conference, and I'm going to call it Think Bigger. I want you to come speak. And he immediately told me yes. Now, I'm thinking he's going to tell me no. He immediately said yes. Anything you want, I'll be there. I scheduled my first one, which was November of 2015. And I was there. We had our first session, and you actually was there. And
I was the next
year. What is so amazing about it is the guy that I worked for 22 years was now my keynote speaker and he's my keynote speaker ever since. And we do 2 conferences a year, and then every month we meet and we do strategic planning. Anybody that comes to the conference, I offer you 12 months worth of counseling. You can meet with me every month for at least an hour, and we'll go over your goals. What Think Big, Plan Bigger is all about is, I noticed that a lot of small companies are thinking big. Yes, we want to try to make $1 million. We know that it's bigger. Having a business is bigger than that. If you can give back to your community, that's bigger than making $1 million. So we want you to think big. We want you to think big. Yes, I'm gonna make this amount of money for my company. I'm gonna employ this many people. I'm gonna give these many people jobs. But we also want you to plan bigger. The bigger plan is, how am I going to give back to my community? So we teach you how to build your business. Some people, we actually teach them from scratch how to even start a business. But those that already have a business, we empower you by teaching you the art of strategic planning. But with that, we teach you how to give back to your community and give you options. You don't always have to give money. You can give your time. You can mentor. You can let someone share. Someone shadow you in your business. You can do public speaking. So there's all kinds of ways you can give back to your community and volunteer, of course. So that's what this is all about. Think big, but plan bigger.
Cool. So let me ask you this before I turn it over to Jazzman, so we could do our featured artist this evening. Real quick. So you've been DJing for like 38 years, and I've been wanting to ask you this for like a while now. How have you seen more Christian DJs come on the scene, or have you seen them shrink back? Or, because I really don't see that many. I don't.
It's not.
I just don't.
It's not a lot of Oh, sorry. Let me cut you off. I apologize. It's not a lot of mobile Christian DJs, but they are out there. So
Yes.
You have to look. Listen, I get calls from California, Florida, New York, Massachusetts. I get calls from all over the United States and overseas as well. I have a strong following in Kenya, Africa. I got a strong following in Nigeria. I have a strong following in Jamaica. I have a strong following in London that listen to my radio show on pretty much every day. So I have a lot of people. Australia is another. So every now and again, I get a call from somebody out of the country to DJ. And sometimes I'm able to do it, and sometimes I'm not. It's just about me getting there, the transportation fee and all that won't add it up there. But, yes, it isn't as many Christian DJs as that we would like to, mobile DJs. But, that's constantly growing, because when I became a DJ, it wasn't none. I didn't know not one. And now I can say it. I can, name, probably on 2 hands, DJs I actually know that's Christian DJ. So I'm proud that happened. DJing is an art. Everybody's not willing to learn this art or don't take the time to learn this art. Yes, like that. And so that's a whole nother ballgame being mobile. But there's a lot of Christian radio DJs.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then And it's an investment to be a mobile DJ. You have to buy speakers. Yes. You have to get music. You have to have a microphone. You have to have speaker stands. It's a lot. Some people are just not ready to make that investment, and I understand that.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I made the investment, yeah. Because when I went to your DJ school, it was great. I loved it. Loved it. This
is what I wanted the listeners to know. Not only did DJ Lady Praise come to our workshop, she immediately got her tools. I'm like, I don't even know how many. I don't even know if it was a month. But it immediately got all her tools. And our class, those that listen to the show, in my class, what I do is I teach you the art of DJing, which is the art of programming music, because that's what DJing is all about: playing the right song at the right time. That's basically what it's all about. It don't even really matter what tool you use, as long as you play the right song at the right time. You're going to be considered a good DJ. But one of the things we do, we go to music stores. We take a little break from the class, and we go to a music store. So we went to a music store the day that she took it, and, I let them see the type of equipment they got. And it wasn't too much longer after that. You went out and purchased all the right tools, and then I was able to, I let her come. Yeah, I let you shadow me a few times, and after a while, I just send you I don't need it anymore. You learn it. So she grasped it very fast, and she applied what we taught her. became successful by continue to get gigs. But yeah, you're one of the people that I can call on, and I don't have to worry about you. Just send you to the job. You're gonna do the job. I ain't gotta worry about you. That's motive of his own, because people, when they call me, they're looking for me to come DJ. If I send somebody else, they have to be on the same caliber of me. I'm not trying to big up my own, but that's how it is. If you order if it's a medicine, I'm not medicine, but if you order some potato chips, you want Lay's. You don't want this off brand. You used to eating Lay's. You don't want an off brand. They can say this is still potato chips, but no, it's not Lay's though. So sometimes people want to in a product of getting a service, want a particular type of quality with it. So I do
cool.
that that you're a great DJ.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Well, hey, Randy, please hold on, because we're going to go ahead and bring in, just hold tight, because we're going to bring in Jazzman, and he's going to come in and do our featured artist. So, Jazzman, I understand that your featured artist is one of the baddest altos, tenors, female singers, Cassandra Wilson. Am I right?
Yes, you are. You are correct. The one and only Cassandra Wilson.
Yes, take it away.
Cassandra Wilson is an American jazz musician, vocalist, songwriter, and producer from Jackson, Mississippi. With her sultry, smoky-hued voice, Wilson started her career as a part of saxophonist Steve Coleman's experimental M-bass collective in the 1980s. Her unique style and striking reconfigurations of classic rock and pop songs took her music to a wider audience. Cassandra Wilson began playing piano at 6, guitar by the age of 12, and was working as a vocalist by the mid-70s, singing a wide variety of material. Wilson's 1996 album, New Moon Daughter, won the Grammy for Best Jazz Vocal Performance. In 1997, she recorded and toured as a featured vocalist with Wynton Marsalis's Pulitzer Prize-winning composition, Blood on the Fields. She was first signed with Blue Note Records in 1992 and released a landmark album titled Blue Light Till Dawn, which would pave the way for a new generation of jazz singers seeking an approach and repertoire that challenged the supremacy of the American standard songbook. Her broadness in terms of synthesizing of blues, pop, jazz, and world music took the jazz world to another level. Wilson's main mentor, well, I'll say jazz greatest influence, was Miles Davis. In 1989, Cassandra Wilson performed as the opening act for Miles Davis at the JVC Jazz Festival in Chicago. In 1999, she produced Traveling Miles as a tribute to Miles Davis. The album developed from a series of jazz concerts that she performed at Lincoln Center in November 1997 in Davis's honor. In 2015, Cassandra Wilson joined forces with the prestigious label Legacy, a subsidiary of Sony Music. She released the album Coming Forth by Day, which was released on the 100th anniversary of Billie Holiday's birthday, April 7, 2015. Cassandra Wilson has recently launched a new website called, it's called reallycassandraradio.com to develop a more direct relationship with her audience. A section of the site called Secret Garden is specifically designed for listeners who would like to access selections from her published and unpublished catalog. The project Jupiter Rising is available for download right now. I would highly recommend for all listeners, if you can get a selection of Lovely, which was published in 2008, Belly of the Sun, 2002, Blue Light Till Dawn, 1993, and if you can specifically listen to the song called Until, which was from the album New Moon Daughter. And for a side note, Cassandra Wilson and her mother are members of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, the same sorority as Kamala Harris, the vice presidential candidate. Thank you for listening. Yeah, Brother Randy, how you doing?
Great.
That's good. That's
Can you
good.
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. My first question for you: you have been on the stage with many top-level artists. Have you gotten a chance to converse with them, or were you able to exchange conversation where you got some knowledge, or you gave them some information? Exactly, how did that go?
Pretty much everybody. Pretty much almost everybody I done toured with or been didn't show. And all. I think with me, I thank God for my whole musical career. But when I'm around these people, we're all one. We're all the same. So even though I consider myself a local talent because I'm from Maryland, with these people, we're all the same. They see me as this way I see them. Even though a lot of them are way more popular than what I am or have been in the past, But yeah, we all see each other the same. We talk in the green room, we cut up and have fun. I've talked to a lot of them. At one time, me and Tupac, I was on this tour. Big Daddy Kane tour, and Tupac was on it, but he wasn't the Tupac. He was Tupac, but so we was backstage. We was on the stage talking. I was a DJ for artist out of New Jersey, and he wrote with a group called Underground. And one time we was just behind it. I did my sound check, and they did their sound check. We were just on stage just talking, and he was smoking a cigarette, and I never smoked or drunk before. So I don't know what kind of facial expression I made, but he's like, "Oh my brother, yo, I didn't know you didn't smoke. You don't smoke." He put a cigarette out, and we just kept chopping it up, and it's just little things like that. That here I am. I consider myself a local talent, and I'm on tour, but we're all one. And even they give me respect, even when I'm on, with these people. Jay-Z, everyone knows that I used to produce. Make mixtapes. Been making mixtapes since '82, and Jay-Z used to rap on my mixtapes, and we did songs together. A lot of the artists, Todd Tribbett, the Queen Latifah, DJ 45 King, that's where they able to have really good conversation to get a lot of good knowledge from these people. And I've been sharing it with the artists that I work with as Christians. I've shared my knowledge with Christian artists.
That's cool. I like that. Now, how did you get the name, or I will say the pseudonym, The Positive One?
All right, great. That's a great question. So, when I started making mixtapes in '82, and how that started, everybody remember the old Walkman. When I moved to Cambridge and started DJing, I used to just make my own little tapes as a way of practicing. So one day I went to school, I had my little Walkman on, and one of the young guys was like, my classmate was like, "Yo, where you get that tape from?" I said, "I made it." He said, "Well, can you make me one?" I said, "Yeah, for $1." So I started putting tapes for $1 for everybody. I would just go to the Woolworth store, get 5 tapes for $1, go to school, and sell them for $1 a piece, make my $4 profit. So during this time, this is in '81, '82. So fast forward to '85, when '85 came along, that's when crack started saturating the area where I lived at. I lived in Cambridge, and it started saturating the area. And one day I was riding home with my parents in the back seat, and I seen all these young people on the corner, and I said, "I think they selling dope." I think in my mind, I said, "I think they selling dope." I said, "Well, I wonder what it would be like if I try to sell my mixtapes on the corner." So from day forth, I just started walking to the corner with all the drug dealers, and I was like the youngest person in the short. I'm very short. I'm 5'2", so I probably about 4'11" or something back in those days, 4'10". And I used to just walk up to people on the corner, buy the dope, and say, "Hey, would you like to buy a tape?" Sometimes people would buy a tape from me, and sometimes they wouldn't. Some people already knew me from tapes, for maybe their brothers, their younger brothers, or their younger sisters. I had tapes from me to get them in school. So one day, one of the guys grabbed the tape from me, he just snatched it out of my hand, and he said, "If you take," and he reached in his pocket and he got marijuana, a bag of marijuana. He said, "If you take this bag of marijuana and you take this," he said, "How much you said it takes for?" I said, by that time it was something about $5 a piece. And he said, "If you take this, you'll have $10 instead of $5. And I said, "Man, I don't think I want to do that." And he just was like, he took my tape and he just threw it on the ground. He said, man, you the only one right here trying to sell something positive, man. Get out of here. And I felt so mad and upset because I was serious about selling these tapes on a business level. And so I was like, what? So I didn't think I had juice on the streets like that because I'm just a kid. I'm only 10th grade. I'm a shorty, you know. I don't think I got any juice. So the very next tape I made, and at the time I never had an introduction tape. At the time I would just put a record, start off with the music. But this particular tape, I said, no drugs being sold because I ain't dirty. DJ Randy P, the positive one, it live for the 1980s, y'all. And once I put that on the tape and started selling it, it just blew up. The tape, I don't know what number it was, but it blew up like everyone. And every time someone would see me, they would say, no drugs being sold, or they'd say, you the positive one. And that's how I got the nickname DJ Randy P, the positive one. Because the guy said, I don't even remember who the guy was. I was so mad. I can't even remember who the guy was. I just walked home. That's how the kid get defeated, and he walked home with his head between his legs. That's how I walked home. I was so upset. But I
like that story. I like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You turned the negative into a positive. I like that. Yeah. Now, Randy, how did you start your radio show?
Got to do. I just moved into your introduction. It took like all day just to make an introduction. So I don't know. I just good with that. So on Thanksgiving Day, the Lord said, "You didn't make that video show yet." I said, "What?" So I went to the office. I tried to. So I said, "I'm gonna talk about Thanksgiving." I thought he wanted me to do a talk show because I like to listen to talk radio shows. I listen to music that much. I listen to talk radio shows because my whole life is music. So I try to be, diverse in the talk radio. But anyway, so I made this show. The show. So fast forward.
Hey Randy, we lost you again. Probably got to find a window.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. Can you hear me now?
Okay, I can hear you now. Yeah, you faded out a little bit.
I'm so sorry.
No problem.
I don't know where I faded out at, but can you hear me now though?
Oh yeah, I can hear you clear now. I can hear you clear.
Okay, I'm so sorry about that, y'all.
Oh, no problem.
I forgot what I was.
I thought it was a storm coming.
It probably is. What was the question again? I forgot. I'm so sorry.
Oh no, my next question is, what is the best part of being a Christian DJ, and what is the worst part?
That's a good question. The best part is that you're able to play songs that really touch people. Mm-hmm. And it's a dual. You not only entertain them, but you play songs. You don't. Play that song that really touched them. They might have a good day, they might have a bad day, but when you play that song and it really touched them in the spirit, that's the most rewarding part of it. Most people come and tell you, man, what was that song you just played? That was an awesome song. I really love the words to that song. Can you tell me who the artist is? And I think that's one of the most rewarding part of playing Christian music. That is dual fold. You entertain them with the music, but you also minister to their spirit with the music. And the worst part of being a Christian, I don't know if it is a worst part. I don't know. I guess with me, I'm gonna say it like this. This is probably for all DJs. The worst part about my job is when someone don't start on time. I hate that. When they don't start the event on time, I don't like that.
Oh.
If the event go to, in our position, we come early. So if the event starts at 7 o'clock, we're probably there at 5 o'clock. So after being to a venue for 2 hours, you ready to get started at 7 o'clock. You don't want to be saying, Well, we don't have a lot of people here yet. Let's wait till more people come. You ready to start at 7 o'clock? I've been there 2 hours. I think that's my worst. But all DJs probably can say that.
Oh, okay. Now, Brother Randy, what makes you as a Christian DJ, what makes you unique?
What I know from based off the fans, I think what makes me unique is that you could touch me. Y'all read, y'all talked a little bit about my bio and different people I did shows with, or different people I know in the music business. But I'm approachable and I'm touchable. People can come right up to me and talk to me. I think that's been the staple of my business, probably the whole time I've been a DJ. I'm an entertaining DJ, so that means I go out in the crowd, I dance with people, I hold the old ladies' hands, I play games with them, and people really love that about me. I'm not.
Oh, you really hands on.
Yeah, I'm not just sitting. Yeah, if I'm DJing in a club, I go. If I'm DJing in a Christian club or a regular, listen. Only 35% of the places I play are Christian based. 65% of the places I play are non-Christian events or non-Christian venues. So when I do play, no matter who I play for, I'm very approachable. I'm very touch. I go out the crowd and I talk to people. I use the microphone as my tool, and I ask what's your name, how old are you, what church you go to, what school you go to. And because people can touch me, that helps kill the buzz of who I am, and I love that.
Oh, okay, I like that. Yeah, I like that. Now, my last question before I turn it back over to Lady Praise is, what advice would you give to the younger generation who want to get into the DJing business?
Well, first of all, I would say take a class, whether it be online or one of my classes, to learn the art of DJing, which is learning how to program music. Second thing I would say is find a mentor. Find someone that you know, or ask around to see if someone knows a DJ that you can shadow with, because DJing is a business. It's an art, but it's also a business. You got to know how to conduct yourself as a business person. It's more than just playing a song. You have to know how to conduct yourself. And the more you go out there, the more you will learn, because every gig is different, and every client is different. So you might have some clients that's nice, you might have some clients that's not so nice. So you have to know how to conduct yourself. And then the third thing I would say is invest in your tools, which is whether you get a computer or some speakers, a mixer, microphone. Those are the 3 steps. Learn the art of it, the business part of it, shadowing someone, and then learn your tools and practice. Listen, I'm 38 years in the game, and I practice every week. Every week I practice.
Hey, that's good. That's great advice. You learn your craft. Study your craft. All right, Brother Randy, I thank you for the interview. I'm about to turn it back over to Lady Praise.
Hey. Thank you. Hey, DJ Randy. Hey, Randy. I got one more question, and I know you wanted to talk about this. I understand that you had a little bit of battle with cancer, and I know you wanted to be given an opportunity to say something about your cancer battle that you'd had, especially with the passing of Chadwick Boseman, and you wanted to speak a little bit before we get off the air. What was your cancer battle? Just real quick, what was it about?
Well, yes, in 2019, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer in May of 2019, and it was a journey for me. Anybody that, all men, if you don't know much about prostate cancer, you should check into it and maybe get a test to see if how your levels are as far as your prostate levels. And it's good to know. I did find out early I was a stage 2 cancer, and I chose to do radiation as my treatment. And so, and I had to get a couple shots to basically kill my testosterone while I get this treatment for radiation. I had to do the radiation for 9 weeks every single day. So no matter where I had a DJ at, out of state, out of town, I had to be back in Maryland to do my treatment every day. So that was the only really hindrance with that, but I got through it. So I just urge all men 45 and older test it for prostate. Just make sure it's on the right track, because if those levels become high, your cancer can be aggressive, and if once it gets to the stage 3 and stage 4, you might have to get it removed. You can catch it early. That's something, and it's something that I can't say that you can prevent. It's something, if you find out early, you can recover from it better. And so, in my experience, I was able to recover from it. I'm now, as of June of this year, I'm cancer-free, 0 cancer, and I thank God for that. Thank God for my healing. But I need to go through the process of doing radiation, and that's my journey. So I just want to talk about that, sharing with all men. To make sure you get tested for prostate, check your prostate tested, especially if you're 45 years old and older. I'm 50, so, and it hit me when I was 49. And how I knew something was going on, I started using the bathroom a lot at night. Every night I use the bathroom. I'm not using the bathroom so much at night while I'm asleep. I'm talking about I would wake up out of my sleep to go to the bathroom, and I never really did that before. So I knew that was something strange. So that's why I went to the doctor and said, hey, I'm using the bathroom at night. Can you check me for prostate? And that's what my friend said, advised me to get checked for my prostate. And I thought I was too young. I was like, man, I'm only 49. I can't get I probably don't have no prostate cancer. You know what I mean? I'm 49 years old. And guess what? I had prostate cancer. So I just wanted to share that with all the brothers that's listening to the broadcast, or might hear this broadcast later. I want to encourage you to get tested.
Amen. Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you.
That's great advice.
Amen. Hey, Batman, you want to jump in with a question before we get off the air here today?
Yeah, I want to thank Randy for being part of the program. We appreciate him being transparent and motivating people to want to do things. And we'd like to. My question: would you like to come on our health chat series? We'd love to have you.
Yeah.
I would love to. Yeah, I would love to come on that. Yes, because I'm battling other things too now. So, yes, I would like to come on.
Yeah, it comes with old age.
Is there any way I can give any shout outs?
Yeah. Help yourself.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I want to shout out the whole team there. So having on your show, I appreciate it. I want to give a shout out to my wife Alicia Potter, my daughter Soraya Steele, my son Caleb Steele, my daughter Ashley Chenault. Shout out to my whole entire family, my mother, my father, my sister Teresa, brother Brian, brother JJ, and anybody who's DJ, whoever is a fan of mine. I want to give you a shout out, because if it wasn't for you, DJ Randy P would be doing what I'm doing right now. So shout out to all the fans, whether it be over in Nigeria, whether it be in Australia, whether it be over in Japan. I give big shout outs to all my fans, and I just love y'all. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be on your show today.
Thank you, man, brother. Thank you.
All right, we appreciate you, brother. All right, everybody. We appreciate everybody tuning in to the Live Jazz Experience. Don't forget, coming up at 9:30, we got Becoming You with Dr. Diane Duckett. So we hope you hang around and be part of that podcast as well. And we thank you. We're going to be ending the Facebook podcast in a minute, but we will be back on shortly. All right, everybody, take care. And thank you for tuning in to the Live Jazz Experience, Chestertown and Owings Mills, Maryland. God bless.
Hey, thank you, guys.
Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings.
You're listening to Your Voice Live Worldwide Podcast.
Can you feel the power? Can you feel the power? Feel the power of Double XI.
Positive Power 21.org Internet Radio.
You're listening to Your Voice Live Worldwide Podcast.
Did you know that internet radio and television can help bring worldwide awareness to your business? During this current season, the number of businesses that are conducting business from home are increasing. Also, many of us are staying home these days, and many actually prefer to shop from home. Positive Power 21 produces positive, faith-based programming that is seen around the world. Around the world on platforms such as WATC TV 57 in Atlanta, Roku, Hulu, Truly TV, Geneco Faith-Based TV, DeKalb 25 in DeKalb County, Georgia, and YouTube. Now that all adds up to a global reach of over 20 million households. Positive Power 21 has radio and television underwriting opportunities available that can assist you in gaining worldwide exposure for your business, product, or service. Opportunities that will tailor to any budget and will provide you with the opportunity to market your business, product, or service indefinitely. Interested? Email jerryvoicelive@gmail.com or paula@paulagvoice.com for more information.
Happy holidays, y'all. This is your boy DJ Randy P, the Positive One, and you're now tuning to the Live Jazz Experience.
The Bible says the Lord is a refuge for the oppressed, a stronghold in times of trouble. The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer. My God is my rock, in whom I take refuge. He is my shield and the horn of my salvation, my stronghold. Join us every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Positive Power XXI Christian Media and Spreaker Radio of the Pearls of Veronica, as her guests share their journey as they try to accept their loss. They come together for transparency and comfort. Join us right now, right here on Positive Power XXI Christian Media. Thank you for tuning in.
With you the good news the Bible said. Can I share with you the good news the Bible says?
This session is no longer.
Can I share with you the good news the Bible says? When the battle